People who are really truly interested in journalism, who are interested in giving the news or giving opinions, try to understand that social media, the way that we see it, may be going away at some point in the near future. Aside from the fact that many Americans have lost faith in the legacy news media, we know that over 50% of Americans have said that they do not really rely on mainstream news anymore, and they get a lot of their news from social media platforms. Digital spaces are the spaces for mainstream news. But that type of news, getting on here and being here every day, showing up, is a full-time job for a lot of creators. And the only way you could be productive at this is if you end up getting a team together and you create your own media company, as we saw with many people, including people like Candace Owens, who now works with Daily Wire, which I believe is owned and operated by Ben Shapiro. Basically started that company, and then they have Matt Walsh and others there. But the reason I say this to you is because in order for this to be a source of income, that you're making money, not just on the side, but this is a huge source of your income, if that's what you're interested in, you're going to have to get a team together. You're going to have to be a group, so that way you have content going out all the time and you're constantly on the ball. So I would urge people who are on these apps to start networking, really getting out there, communicating with other people, doing the same thing that you're doing, and putting a team together where you can say, look, if things change in the near future, we can put together our own media company and we can pump out content on a daily that can compete, because we know that we're going away from mainstream news. We know that people do not trust legacy news. But with the censorship going, with TikTok right now, where they're trying to take TikTok away, I think it has a lot to do with them trying to reclaim the space of news. Back in the day, the news was the only way you can get information, the legacy news. And they're really trying to do that and push out smaller creators from speaking up about any kind of, hot topics or breaking news. Like, I couldn't imagine working for any of these major newspaper companies like Washington Post or, LA Times or New York Times, because that you're relegated to whatever they tell you you're going to talk about. So it's important that people start looking to other media outlets, like I said, Candace Owens, Daily Wire, and that sort of stuff. The reason I'm mentioning this is I've seen that a lot of established publications like Sports Illustrated, the Washington Post, NBC, ABC, CNN, NPR, all of them, Vice, Vox, even BuzzFeed, have all had significant layoffs over the past year. So we see that there's a huge layoff going on. But where are we going to get our mainstream news? I think they're going to want to push us back to some of these mainstream organizations, and that's why they're trying to really get a foothold on these social media sites by getting rid of anybody who is dissenting. This is an important thing they're trying to do. They're safeguarding themselves and saying, we got to figure out how we're going to squash all of these local and small entities trying to speak out. And I think it's going to really shift towards some of the newer news sites that we're seeing online, and a lot of foreign news. I really like 60 Minutes Australia. I really like Sky News. I really like I don't like The Hill. I used to like them until I realized they're fake too. But I'm just saying there's going to be a lot of opportunity here for younger people to start their own media companies. And you guys are young out there. I'd say, get some people that are older that can guide you, but start your own media companies. Get it going now. As I saw in Tucker Carlson's interview of this one gentleman, I'm trying to remember his name right now. I will show a picture of him. But he basically was talking to him about how all of our legacy news that you know of, CBS, those ones, they were all started as a part of the military, the CIA. And these things were all used to overturn other countries' governments by using media companies. So I think they're looking at this now and they're saying social media is a real problem for us. And how can we get control of this? Because I don't think they expected Trump to win in 2016. I think they dropped the ball. They underestimated the significance of these online spaces and how much power they have as a collective, and how our voices, individual voices, were able to dissent from mainstream news. you guys have an opportunity. I wish a lot of young people could see this, as well as myself. I'd love to network with other people who are already in this space and want to make sure that we have an option here, even if we do our own thing solo, but we have an option to be able to stand up to some of these bigger companies that are backed by God knows, right? Possibly the military industrial complex.